Dragon take a lot of games by storm, but we even saw the Ancient Gear Golem strategy, which also really wants to go second. Doesn't really do, it probably does less than Tenpai when getting going first.
Possibly, but we see the normal summon of Poplar coming down from Edwin, and it's immediately met by Effect Veiler.
This opens up the door for Triple Tactics talents and some continuation from Diabellstar, the Black Witch.
Let's see what he has next. Does he have, I see a Fiendsmith Engraver at least in the hand, so he's definitely not done with his plays just yet. Looks like he might have 2 copies.
We're going to lead with the Engraver now.
Yep. Oh, is he left-handed? All right.
Yeah, it makes sense. His extra deck is on the right side.
So he's going to send that Engraver to the graveyard, adds the Fiendsmith Tract. Fiendsmith Tracts and let him add a Light Fiend monster from the deck to the hand. Then he has to discard a card. But if Fabled Lure is discarded, it will special summon itself from the graveyard. So it comes back to the field, but immediately right back to the graveyard for a link summon of Fiendsmith's Requiem.
These are the lines we've seen time and time again at this point. Engraver going to be able to summon itself right back, using Requiem's effect to equip itself to the Engraver.
Let's see if that is the next step. I'm thinking it might be. He could choose to summon back his Engraver here. He could link his monsters away. Got all sorts of different options.
It's a question of if you want to go into Necroquip Princess or not.
Rather good hand. Stay with that one.
And it looks like he might be summoning that Diabellstar from hand.
Yeah, starting with the Poplar, the Engraver, and the Diabellstar is huge.
Revealing the Druisworm, so now Dom knows that he is on probably a substantial Bestial line, because Druisworm is usually not the first one you see.
Yeah, it's going to be the Baldrake, Magnum, and Druisworm. If you see, I mean, it could still just be on Magnum and Druisworm, but a lot of players know that the Bestials have been really popular. I know on Friday you heard a lot of people going around looking for Baldrakes. Definitely something a lot of the players are keeping an eye out for. But let's see if Couch has a response here to the Witch. It looks like he is thinking about using another copy of Effect Veiler.
He does know that it won't be enough to stop the entire combo here, but if he has anything else to have in combination, that could be enough.
So he does use a second copy, trying to keep Edwin off of accessing that original Sinful Spoil Snake Eyes.
I swear I saw a copy of Snake Eye Ash in Edwin's hand.
Probably playing the mid.
I wonder why you wouldn't send that to the graveyard just to have access to it with Promethean Princess. I must have missaw it. Because I suppose why would you normal summon Poplar in the situation if you did have Snake Eye Ash?
Yeah, that would be an interesting decision. So now he is going to link away Snake Eye Ash and Engraver for Fiendsmith's Requiem.
A sequence, yeah. Sequence.
Or sorry, sequence.
They all start kind of coming together, right? They're a little bit all over the place. You see one, you're going to see them all.
Definitely. Now sequence is going to shuffle back the 2 materials. So let's see if he's going to fusion summon for Fiendsmith's Lacrima.
I believe with those two it has to be. Yeah, Lacrima is going to hit the field. It's going to be able to most likely just special summon back that Engraver here.
Special?
Yep, indeed. A lot of times you can add it back if you haven't used Fiendsmith's Tract, but since he already has, just needs that monster on the field to overlay the 2 level 6 monsters for...
I think Beatrice here. Beatrice is going to be able to send down that Snake Eye Ash and get access to it. Oak works here as well.
Yep, here comes Beatrice in attack mode.
Detaching the Engraver. See what he sends. Hovering over the Oak and the Ash. Looks like it's going to be... The Ash, well, okay, it doesn't summon from the deck. Not that good. It's pretty good, but yeah.
Get him ahead of myself here.
Yeah, he definitely needs to link summon for the Princess first. But essentially, you are summoning it from your deck.
Yeah, it was just one step later, really. Maybe 1.5.
1 3/4.
Thinking on my promotion.
So Promethean Princess comes down. Now he's going to be able to special summon back that Snake Eye Ash. If it resolves, unless Couch has a 3rd copy of Effect Veiler.
Yeah,
Eddie is considering using Lacrima's effect here. Will he need the additional lights in his grave, or rather light fiends, for Fiendsmith later, or just going to get in that damage now? He's going to get in that damage now, put back the sequence to the extra deck.
Effect. 1 in hand? Yeah.
Promethean Princess is going to attempt to summon that Snake Eye Ash from the graveyard, and that does happen.
Normal Poplar. Okay.
Yep. Poplar was normal summon, so you're still able to add it to your hand and special summon it, even if you're not able to search with it. But
Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit.
yeah, I did wonder if I saw that in Dom's hand here. That is 3 different points of interaction here.
Does that do anything? Because he just grabs the Oak. Oh, but he can't summon it because he normal summoned the Poplar.
Yeah, we're not going to get access to Flame Burst this way.
Okay, Ghost Ogre, Snow Rabbit, not a popular interaction from hand, but could be really useful. Here we see those 3 cards out of Dom's hand. Only 2 left. Drawing to 3. We're going to have to see if it's going to be enough to slow Edwin down.
It's a matter of what he can do from this point on. I do not believe he has actually used the effect of Engraver yet. To summon itself, I believe the last one was summoned off the effect of Requiem.
I do think you're right. So he's still going to be able to special the Poplar from his hands if he wants. He can't add with it since he already used that effect. As you mentioned, he can summon Engraver as well. He has to get this Princess off the field so he's not locked into fire monsters.
Likely maybe burning through a Nightmare Phoenix or even a Hida in Desperate Times.
So what are you thinking? It's going to be like Nightmare Phoenix IP?
Well, you can't even do that.
No, yeah, you can. He just makes Nightmare Phoenix here and then brings back the Engraver and then makes IP.
Where? With what arrows?
Oh, you're right. You're right. I think that's what he just realized as well. Yeah. Oh, does he? Maybe he plays Raging Phoenix though, which would be nice.
Yeah, that is the real loss there when you have to make space for it and you cut. Oftentimes it's going to be the Raging Phoenix, but you really do need those arrows or you need those fires in your extra deck to have. Yeah, like I think this is what,
Hida, yeah.
Yeah, like the Desperation Hida.
Hida will give him the proper arrows. The Nightmare Phoenix, if it did happen to point down, would be nice.
No triggers.
That's the big difference when you lose Link Karibo and have like Relinquish Anima. It pointing forward instead of down
Engraver?
definitely can impact your plays. But here comes the Engraver. You could also just go into a 3-material Appaloosa, but with only 2 cards in Couch's hand, that might not be a bad option.
I don't know. I hear the deck does quite a lot with 1.
Versus an Appaloosa?
Actually wouldn't be enough bodies.
The weird thing is he does want to keep a fire on the field.
For the Princess?
Yeah, so I don't think he ever gets that option, though.
Looks like he is looking to go into IP Masquerena.
Poplar. Yeah.
He gets to use the Poplar effect, which, I mean, without Temple on the field, this might come back to bite him.
Yeah, Couch did make sure to keep the Search for a Snake Eyes spell off of Edwin's turn, so he doesn't have access to Snake Eyes Diabell Star.
Yeah.
So not the worst after 3 cards from the hand, only having to deal with an IP that can potentially go into SP or Appaloosa, I suppose.
Yeah.
I do believe I saw an Engraver in Dom's hand here.
Engraver.
Oh, well, there you go. Going to be able to lead with that, try to force some interaction here. Definitely strong because you are able to immediately summon the Engraver, put the Requiem on it, and then force something out immediately.
Yep, adds the Fiendsmith's tract. It's a beautiful quarter-century secret rare. Droll and Lockbird.
That is going to shut that down.
This is the best time to Droll and Lockbird because the Fiendsmith tract also wants you to add a card from your deck to your hand, and now Couch is going to have to only work with the cards that he already has.
But I do think those other 2 cards, quite a powerful combination here. 1-for-1 Poplar.
Spoilers. We'll have to see how that's going to help. Yeah, 1-for-1 and Poplar are really strong, but with an IP and a Droll, that might be enough, I think.
Yeah, a Little Knight does a lot in this position.
That Droll and Lockbird is just huge.
The 1-for-1 is activated, discarding the Poplar here. It's a question of whether or not you're even going to activate it. You don't really need to. You might just want to go for Snake Eye Oak. We know the last card is tracked, so there's not going to be a normal summon play here to extend further past the SP Little Knight.
Two.
Goes for Oak.
Promethean, target, in the 3.
So he's going to go Promethean Princess, target the Hida and the Oak, and then chain IP as well. Because the Princess only has to destroy 1 of the targets, and it still will be special summon, unlike SP Little Knight. So we can go into SP, the Princess will come out, destroy the Oak, and then the SP Little Knight will be able to banish. Oh, he's going to add it to hand so he gets to avoid it from being banished from the field.
Yeah, but it'll still be able to banish the Oak from the graveyard, which I think is a strong... It looks like there's a lot of potential starters there. There's a Snake Eye Ash. I think that might be... Yeah, Wanted. Those are two of the best cards in your deck.
Wanted during the draw phase. Draw and Lockbird. It's the only phase that it won't be able to be activated.
That's the phase you're supposed to be drawing cards in.
Very true. That's probably why it can't be activated in the draw phase. Makes a lot of sense. Oh, I do see it in his hand, too. I saw that Draw and Lockbird. But now, just having the Diabell Star to begin with already plays around Droll pretty well.
He even has the Poplar to go with it, so he has access to it. Oh, was it not Fable? It was Fablery. Okay, that is a lot worse than Snake Eye Ash.
A little bit. So he's going to link it away, and for the link one, it requires a Light Fiend, so he can go into Fiendsmith's Requiem. Then he can tribute Requiem to Special Summon Engraver from the deck to the field.
Sure.
So now he's going to equip the Fiendsmith's Requiem.
And then he's going to be using the Diabell Star to send the Requiem, I believe.
Looks like that is what he is considering.
Yep, Diabell Star hitting the field, sending the Poplar from the hand. You're going to be able to put that back in the Spell and Trap Zone if you so desire.
Yep.
Oh, no, keeping in the grave potentially for Snake Eye Oak here.
Now
Still no normal. Oh, no, normal summon has been committed with Fablery.
Sets the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eyes.
Using original.
Yep.
Sending the Requiem, getting the maximum value between the Fiendsmith synergy. And there's the Oak.
Yeah, see, Couch is like, okay, you drolled me in the game because I couldn't do anything because I was going second, but this game, you can just sit with that droll in your hand.
Yeah, this is the way to absolutely maximize your value into a Droll and Lockbird. Look, he's activating it now. I don't even know if he was ever going to activate another card.
You see kind of the look on his face. He's even smiling. He's
like,
well,
I guess I'll use it.
I mean, you might as well. Like, it's going to stop him from getting a search with Snake Eye Ash, maybe potentially down the line on this turn. Oh, it cuts off the wanted draw at least, which is something that's actually pretty substantial. But now the Divine Temple, the Snake Eye lets him place a Snake Eye monster from the deck to the Spell and Trap card zone, and he's going to play Snake Eye's Diabell Star.
Potentially pretty off to the races here.
Yeah.
He does have to be wary of his opponent's Bestials. That is something he also saw. So
Maybe
he
Nibiru, too, to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think when you're playing Droll and Lockbird and Bestials, he's playing all those types of cards, right? We know he doesn't have Ash Blossom and Joy Spring just yet, because I think at several points in this turn, it would have made sense for it to be activated.
Yeah, on the original for sure. So now he's going to link, or sorry, use no, he did link. It is a link. Okay, yeah, Loke's still on the field. The link away for IP Masquerena. Now he's going to use Poplar's effect to place itself back in the Spell and Trap card zone.
I believe he's just going to use Oak now to follow it up, sending itself and the Poplar, putting those fire monsters back in the graveyard for the Snake Eye Diabell Star.
So he's keeping the Snake Eye Diabell Star here to play around Nibiru, the Primal Being. So that way, if he has something go wrong, he can still have some plays beyond that.
I'm contemplating if he's summoning the Flame Verge up. Okay, there. Oh, no, he's going to go for the Ash. Interesting when you cannot use its effect here.
Sure.
We're going to use the Snake Eye Diabell Star to put the Oak back in the Spell and Trap Zone and summon itself.
Huh? That would have been a devious spot for it.
And now the Ash, just putting it in rotation, right? So you have it in the graveyard for the Flame Verge to summon on following turns.
Makes sense. Here comes Snake Eye's Flame Verge Dragon from the deck.
I think Dom expects that at this point in the game, Nibiru would have already come down.
I mean, yeah, it was tough. He definitely had a moment. I think, yeah, while the IP was already out, if he Nibiru'd before the Ash effect there, he could have still have Token, Snake Eye Diabell Star.
Yeah, if there was no access to Flame Verge, it's fine, right?
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to do too much with that.
I also think there's just a cross out in his hand. He's going to ignore Nibiru.
That's always nice. So now he's going to link away IP Diabell Star and Snake Eyes Diabell Star for Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess at 2400 attack, meaning he can negate 3 monster effects.
Yep, and now this is where the Engraver comes back. Going to be able to put back that Fablery. Is there a Bestial? Will it matter to the Appaloosa? A Bestial Chain Nibiru, perhaps?
Yeah, that's fine.
Nope. Now Flame Verge is going to use its effect, put the IP Masquerena back in the Spell and Trap Zone, and then immediately be linked away, likely into sequence.
Looks like
Moon of the Closed Heaven.
Okay, Moon of the Closed Heaven. I was just using it as link material to get the princess, maybe?
Yeah?
Yeah. Did you put the Requiem back already? No.
I think he needs to load up some Light Fiends in the graveyard.
That makes a lot of sense.
He has put back the Lurie. I believe the Requiem is still in there, but so now there are 3 Light Fiends. There's the Engraver, the Moon, and the Requiem.
And Lurie?
No, the Lurie is back in the deck to summon the Engraver.
Okay, you're right. So Sequence is now going to put back a couple of those Light Fiends, as you mentioned. Looks like he might be going for Desiree.
Yep, that's going for 3 here. So this is why it was important to summon the Moon of the Close Heaven. And now, once Desiree hits the field, he's going to be able to link away into the Princess.
Yep, and then the Princess will bring back...
This is the interesting part because I think...
He's missing a monster, right?
No, this is perfect because the Desiree is going to negate the Princess, and I think...
Oh, it's that play!
Yeah.
No, continue.
You know, I mean, I don't want to spoil what monster I think he's going to summon, but I have a pretty good idea of what powerful Link 2 monster he's going to go into next.
Sure.
But what will he do next? You've been telling me about this play all weekend where you negate the Princess with the Desiree.
Yep. First, of course, you want to summon something off the Princess.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I use this already? Yes, you did. Poplar for Poplar. I did that? Okay.
Poplar did use its effect.
Yep.
Poplar to play. That's fine.
Yep, he's going to be summoning back the Flamebridge. I don't think it matters. It's not like, or oh, he might be choosing to keep it on the field here. He did unfortunately use the Poplar effect, so that is the one monster he is missing. It looks like he is going to keep the Princess then because he wants to keep the Flamebridge on the field. But Desiree will be able to negate the Princess as well as his opponent's card in this sense. Oh no, he's going to use it now, and he's going to be able to link away with the Flamebridge into. Let me see it. Let me see the hat. The Silhouette Magician.
Yes, that brand new secret rare out of the Infinite Forbidden. Shades of Predaplant Verte Anaconda. A generic link 2 that's going to let you access a continuous trap card from your deck. Going to set the Angel Statue Ezerun, which can negate a special summon of a monster. And if if any monster is special summoned from the Spell and Trap card zone, you're able to destroy a Spell and Trap card on the field. One of my favorite cards out of the Infinite Forbidden. The rabbit's like pulling himself out of the hat because he is the magician. But it's just an illusion.
This is something I think I've mentioned every time this card hits the field, but it's really important to note, it's not only when your cards move from the Spell and Trap zone into the monster zone, it is also just whenever that happens. So your opponent's effects will trigger it as well, so any of their Flamebridge effects or their Divine Temples will trigger it to destroy a Spell Trap on the field, and that can come up at multiple points.
Yeah, and it's not so bad that he lost the Flamebridge since he still has that Divine Temple face-up that can push forward the IP Masquerade at any point.
I'm going to be following up with the Divine Temple from Edwin here, but that's fine because he does have access to Silhouette.
Is there any merit to negating this with Desiree?
No, absolutely not, because you're just going to Chain Azure and then use the Silhouette Magician to destroy the temple.
That is, well, that's not how that works. Well, I mean, I guess
after the fact. And then his temple can summon his opponent's monster.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it. I love the interactions here.
Pass party. Rabbit.
I mean, you weren't going to destroy your own, right?
Definitely not. You see that Silhouette Rabbit really coming into play here in this mirror match. That's one of the key differences between these two decks.
Yeah, I think he's pretty free to use the Appaloosa here. The biggest fear is if you had something along the lines of Forbidden Droplet, but I think when you're playing that many points of interaction from the hand, you got the Bestials as well as the Draw and Lockbirds, you're probably not going to pair that with Forbidden Droplet, right? So you don't need to keep the Desiree live, and that's why he used the Azure Rune.
Such a pretty card.
We'll be leading with a Bonfire, and it looks like that's going to trigger Dominic to potentially use his Crossout Designator here to balk the Poplar. No, he's just going to let it happen. Might as well get rid of the once per turn effects now so they don't come up later. No reason to get rid of the Bonfire when it doesn't actually take away any of Eddie's combo lines. Yep, so now he can go after the Poplar, or just negate it with the Appaloosa. Yep, the Appaloosa does have 3 negates. It looks like he also has Wanted.
Scooping?
I mean, this makes a lot of sense, right?
Nope, nope.
No, you're just going to concede. He has way too much gold.
Here.
It looks like Eddie has a pretty strong hand here. Going to be leading with that bonfire.
All right, so Bonfire's going to add Snake Eye Ash.
Snake Eye Ash, you gonna be... It looks like it's gonna be resolving. Dom is considering if he wants to use any of his interruptions here.
People are appreciating because I'm just reading on Reddit, because these kids don't miss anything. It's a headache to keep up with them. That this card is a
Poplar resolving, getting the original Sinful Spoils here. That's interesting. Going original instead of Divine Temple, that usually means you already have Divine Temple, and yeah, I do believe it's in his hand. Going to be activating the Divine Temple.
All right. Off to a good start for Edwin.
Now, Dom knows he has that additional original Sinful Spells to extend further, and now he has Fiendsmith Engraver as well. That's going to be able to put more face-up cards on the field. This is rough if he has no combination here.
Fiendsmith Track's going to let him add a Light Fiend. It's not Majesty's Fiend, it's Fiendsmith Engraver.
Well, again, adding Engraver here instead of the Lurie, which means you already have Lurie in hand.
And I know original.
And you sets him up for next turn, potentially.
Of course.
Bestial Magnum. Now we get to see how the Bestials are going to interact with this Fiendsmith Snake Eye turn 1.
A little awkward because if you're going to go after the Lurie, you are able to cut off the body, but there is an Engraver already in the graveyard. You still have multiple bodies on the field to get access to Moon of the Closed Heaven.
Yeah.
But it is still providing a body on the field and could potentially be very powerful if you're able to keep it on the field.
No field spell. Like Dash.
Using Ash, Ascend itself, and the Snake Idea Bellstar.
Make sure to activate that Magnum effect so he'll be able to add a dragon during the end phase, grab another Bestial potentially.
That's messed up.
We talk about how the Bestials are really powerful against the Fiendsmith's engine because it takes away its recursion, right? It's not able to constantly recycle itself if they're in the banish zone, or the banishment rather. But forced to go after the Lurie so he's not going to get that immediate monster on the field. I believe that is the right call in this situation, but it's, you know, it's going to be rough because the Engraver is still going to remain in the graveyard. Snake Eye Bellstar will be able to use its effect, put back the Snake Eye Poplar, and put itself on the field.
Giga Blade. Thinking, sorry.
And he has to be really careful here. He's contemplating every single position that Dom could have in his hand. Going to be going into the Moon of the Closed Heaven, immediately linking it off into that Fiendsmith Requiem.
Magnum effect.
Requiem effect is activated. Still no response from Dom outside of that Magnum. Engraver hits the field.
See where Edwin goes from here.
I imagine we're going to be using the effect of the Engraver, putting the Requiem on it, because I think at this point you want to clear the Magnum if you can.
Original.
We're going to be starting with actually the original on the Poplar.
Yeah, that's fine.
No response here from Couch.
Getting maximum value here. The Snake Eye Oak is going to be able to hit the field. It's going to be able to generate another body for Eddie. Gonna put the Poplar back on the field.
Where he belongs.
For now. None of these monsters seem to stay on the field very long.
Yeah, no, I kind of like monsters that like stay on the field.
The
like I said, they're
kind of
mainly
hangs out.
Yeah, Flamebird hangs out. Mainly extra deck monsters are the ones that stay. Link monsters kind of like ruin monsters staying on the field. They just fodder to summon the next Link monster.
Both good and bad. I like the idea that I don't have to leave a random monster on the field, but
True.
there are some monsters that I thought were really cool over there. I guess it's the choice, really.
It is nice to have options. Now we're seeing a Link 1, 2, 3, 4.
That is 4. Wow. Going straight into Appaloosa? That is a hefty Appaloosa, too. If you get mind control in this Appaloosa, that's a lot of profit for Dom.
Appaloosa 4, right? Correct.
The Flamebird is going to be summoning back 2, is going to be summoning back the Oak as well as the Poplar here.
Moon.
And then Engraver is going to be using its effect, putting back Moon of the Closed Heaven.
thinking versus 4 negate Appaloosa.
Yeah, I wonder. This is a second Bestial here, followed by potentially a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit.
He does play that Ogre. Ogre is.
Oh, there's Bestial Baldrake chaining the
And
chaining
the
Ghost Ogre.
We're seeing why the Ghost Ogre makes sense.
That's crazy. He didn't lead with the Baldrake if he had it. Because if he's able to stick the Baldrake on the field while having another Magnemite, you're able to use it to banish the next Link monster he summons? Well, I mean, I guess he has that option now.
Did it again.
Yeah, he did have 3 points of interaction from his hand.
That's correct.
Divine Temple has nothing to push back up.
I mean, this is just excellent deck building. I mean, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is not in a lot of people's main decks this weekend.
I mean, clearly it was designed to have this interaction in the matchup because we knew Appaloosa was going to be one of the main protection points. Yeah, he's going to go for another Link summon here with the bodies he has left, but he does still have that Baldrake sitting on the field. The Magnemite is going to be able to search another Bestial, or even, I guess, Flamebridge if you really want to.
Things looking tough here for Edwin.
There's Moon of the +7 one more time.
Baldrake can take care of it.
Just not letting any more monsters on the field.
And it banishes it as well.
They're leaving one card in hand. We know it's Engraver because he added it off tracked.
And Couch gets a search at the end phase for a Magnemite.
He just needs to summon one monster and he can go into his own Fiendsmith engine, and he knows that Edwin can't do anything to stop it. Gonna be adding that Druis Worm.
Yeah, that Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit was huge. Yeah, Edwin's kind of wishing he didn't try and stop that Bestial.
He didn't really need to, right? Normal summon Snake Eye Oak,
And
and
that's
that's it! Dumb!